because Navajo Grandma is involved in an election recount. I have not had time to make videos for you. So in the middle of the night here, we're going to do this. This is from my iPad because I haven't had time to make any notations. This is called Neeshjizhii. This is dried steamed corn. This is a Navajo traditional food, and it's a huge process to do this. Again, what the Navajos do is they dig a big hole in the ground, and they fire that up with rocks and with wood, and it's burning really well. So then they cover it up, and then they leave a little hole in there, and they pour water in there, and it's just intense steam. And so after hours and hours, sometimes they cook this. Some people have cooked this overnight or steamed it, and so what you end up with is steamed corn. Now you can chew this, it's a little hard, but people enjoy this. It's made from white corn, and the process takes several days and includes harvesting the ears, steaming them in an earthen pit on cedar coals. And then so that's basically it. When you want to make Neeshjizhi, this one, then what you do is you take this. Now, my mother used to do this. You know, she would take two ears of corn and she would rub them together. And guess what? It actually takes the kernels off. This is my mother, and this is the old way. You know, sometimes people who didn't have teeth, this is what they would do. They would use another corn, they'd rub it together, and lo and behold, that's how you took the kernel off the corn. And sometimes they would eat it just like this, or you can just do with your finger, with your fingernails. And they spend hours doing this. Then they dry it. Okay, so this is, if you can see, this becomes the Neeshjizhi. Neeshjizhi. And so after you shuck it, then you dry it, and then you remove the kernels from the cob. Now the Neeshjizhi can be stored, like Grandma says, indefinitely, and is used as an ingredient in stews, where it kind of adds like a smoky flavor and a chewy corn texture. And so this is Navajos, basically what they mix. When they make a soup, they always add this to lamb, your lamb. And while it's a similar product made, it's kind of similar to the Pueblos. They call it chicos. And it's usually added to pots of beans. Here, the Neeshjizhi stew recipe is this. 2 cups of chopped lamb stew meat, 1 tablespoon sunflower oil, 1 minced onion, 1 to 2 garlic cloves minced, a half a teaspoon of oregano, 4 dried red chili pods, 1/2 to 1 cup Neeshjizhi, the dried corn, 1 teaspoon salt to taste, and 8 cups of water. Okay, and it says, in a heavy skillet, brown the lamb, remove and heat the oil in the skillet. Add the onion and saute for a few minutes until it turns translucent. Add the garlic and oregano and saute for another couple minutes. Transfer the lamb and onion mix to a slow cooker. Add the chili pods, Neeshjizhi, salt, and 8 cups of water and cover. Cook for 6 to 8 hours on low medium. Check liquid occasionally and add more water for more broth. And that's basically it. So Grandma hasn't had time to do this because guess what? I'm still, doing this recount situation. And I hope now that I see, I think you can see better. This is Grandma. And it's very easy to just rub off the kernels. And this is what you dry. You let this dry. And this will sit for days, and pretty soon it'll be hard as a rock like this, This is the same thing, and this is Neeshjizhi. This is the steamed corn that was let to dry, and that is the main, that's the corn for the soup. And, it was very smart because, in the wintertime, you couldn't go out and get corn, and, everything's far. And so that's why this is a huge mainstay for, during harvest. But it's also very delicious to eat like this, just, right on the cob. And this is a treat, like I said, at parades, during this time of year, and during the fall. And then you can make all kinds. Look and see the corn. Now, I will tell you about the corn cob. Now, my grandparents would keep all of this, and they let it get hard. And when, how you use pumice to take a shower with? Well, that's what this becomes. First, it becomes a callus. See, like this, it's really good to wash with, and it takes your dry skin off. And, people, when they bathe, they'd use these. But what they do, too, is that they let this dry so it's really hard. And this almost becomes like pumice. And they take their feet and they take the calluses off with this. And it's so interesting. The other thing that is done is inside here, let me break this. Inside here, it's kind of funny that, when I was little, there's this little, it looks like inside there's almost like a sugar cane thing right here. I'm kind of glad it can kind of come off really easy. Do you see this little, I don't even know what to call it, but see the inside of here? We used to chew this, and it has a sugary taste. And it was just a wonderful, and you have the whole sticks, after, and it was a treat too. And, you just could break it off and chew it. And it's kind of a porous little thing, but when you chew it, it's very sweet. It was the type of sugar that, that was gathered inside the corn. And it was kind of like our little gum, okay? And we would spit it out. Now, I don't think anybody swallowed it. I'm sure people have. But anyways, that's the inside of this cob. And so I have quite a few. Grandma's going to pick off all of the kernels, and I'm going to dry it and make my own Neeshjizhi. So here's another video for you to discover the importance of corn. We were talking about prayer. And when you pray in the morning, this is ground raw white corn, okay? And then this is yellow corn. And in the morning, you use the white corn to pray to the east. Remember that you bless everyone, and you bless, people, you bless yourself, your family, you have your prayer for the day. And you go to the back of your house on the west side, and that's when you use the yellow corn. Interesting. Look at these wonderful things that come from corn. And the Navajos use this, and you can make paste out of this as well. and make your own mush. And there's a chieftain. I'm telling you too much here. The sumac berries. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Grandma's been busy. Look at that. Here's the sumac. Let me make sure you can see it. See, remember the sumac berries? And Grandma made the chieftain. Isn't that fun and exciting? We made pudding out of this. And what you do is, when you make the chieftain, you can add the white corn with it. This white corn powder. And I tell you, you will make it taste so absolutely wonderful. So Grandma showed you a little too much here because you're going to have a lot of questions. But this is just a learning. You're learning about how important corn is while Grandma is in the process of this Navajo election recount. That itself is a crime. The criminal things at the election board, we're not proud of them, and Grandma's we're gonna litigate a lot of stuff. Anyway, so now this is steamed corn. This is what it looked like. This is the end result. The Neeshjizhi, how hard this is. You'd break your tooth on this if it dries super hard. And you can have this. You can take this. It'll last forever. And you can then you have to make sure you cook it for quite a while to soften it so you can eat it. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely with lamb, whatever you want. Okay, so Grandma loves you. More about the corn. We have a lot more to teach. 10-4, Grandma loves you.